Good evening, everyone. The big story on 12 News at 10. Just how long will it take for experts to identify the human bones found in the desert? When will we finally know if they belong to Jesse Wilson, the 10-year-old boy who vanished without a trace nearly 2 years ago? The process can be slow and take a lot of time.
But it's what experts say needs to happen so they can be 100% sure their findings are accurate. So what does that entail? Team 12's Adam Bagney is live in the newsroom with a closer look at the process. Adam?
Yeah, Mark and Caribe, a former Phoenix police officer telling us evidence may be hard to come by here. The Buckeye police chief has told us these remains are essentially just bones, and that could prove challenging to investigators. Human remains found on a desolate road in Buckeye, bones scattered about the desert. Authorities say they haven't determined who they belong to, but I asked the police chief if investigators will examine if it's Jesse Wilson, the 10-year-old boy who's been missing for nearly 2 years.
Absolutely. Identification is the first step here. Once we're able to identify, then we can, determine who the victim is.
But former Phoenix police officer David Cothey says even after authorities ID the victim, it may not mean enough evidence was left behind.
And when you start getting down to just bones and nothing else, it's very, very hard to make a DNA match to any potential suspect.
The bones could provide details, though, about how the person died. Cothey says investigators may be able to determine if the victim suffered a violent demise.
Some kind of marks, a gunshot mark, a knife mark, blunt force trauma that you might be able to discover that. If you're really lucky, you might get something from the vertebrae in the neck that might show some kind of strangulation that took place, but that's really throwing it out there.
And Cothey also says it's not uncommon for officials to search an area and then have evidence turn up years later. There are just too many variables.
It's so many environmental factors. I mean, you can search an area and if they're under something, I mean, you can miss it. It can happen.
And the chief also telling 12 News he's hoping to get some sort of identification on those remains in the next couple weeks. We're live in the newsroom. Adam Bagney, 12 News at 10.